GMA 2012 Total Access is sponsored by the Musco Family Olive Company.
Welcome to Supermarket News Total Access. Colorado Springs is where the industry has gathered for the Grocery Manufacturers Association Executive Conference. And we're taking an insider's look through interviews with conference speakers and other industry leaders. I'm David Orgel, Editor-in-Chief of Supermarket News, and I'm here with the supermarket guru, Phil Lempert.
Thanks, David. And joining us is Gary Rodkin, the President and CEO of ConAgra Foods and the Chairman of GMA. Thanks for joining us, Gary.
My pleasure, Phil.
Now, being the chairman of GMA is a big job, and being the CEO of ConAgra is even a bigger job. So juggling both those things have kept you really busy. So I've got to ask you, over this period of time, what are the top one or two accomplishments from GMA during your tenure as chairman?
Phil, I think probably at the top of the list is getting the industry totally aligned against facts up front. So taking the most important things on the nutrition panel and bringing them from the back of the package to the front of the package in a consistent way across all of our industry, that's been a big job that many folks at GMA, many of the member companies have really helped make this happen, which is not an easy thing to do because in the end, we're all competitors.
Well, Gary, now let's look forward for a second. What are you most excited about in the near term regarding GMA and the industry?
Well, David, I would say that we are starting to really get aligned behind the idea that we've got to make the pie bigger, that growth is such a huge challenge for all of us across the industry that we really have to get our resources pointed in that direction rather than just focusing on other initiatives like the cost side, which are always important, but we've got to make the pie bigger in this industry.
So, Gary, a tough question to ask, and obviously on the CPG side, you've got a really good sense of what's going on with collaboration with retailers. Lots of changes, smaller stores, bigger stores, everything that's going on. Look into your crystal ball. What's the outlook for retailer and supplier collaboration?
You know, Phil, I would go back to the same point. I think we're all starting to recognize what a tough challenge growth is across the entire food chain, and finding ways to work with all the different channels, all the different partners against, again, making this pie bigger for all of us. We have to recognize that growth, top-line growth, profitable top-line growth on both sides is the oxygen. And we all need that. So we really do need to work more together than we ever have before. Now it really is vital to our future, both of us.
Well, a final question, Gary. I know we're talking about growth and making the pie bigger. Where are we now in the economic cycle in terms of what role the economy plays in all of that, and how can we overcome that?
Well, as you know, David, Phil, the economy for the last, let's say, 3 or 4 years has posed a very tough challenge for all of us. And I would say our core consumers or shoppers have really been hit hard in terms of jobs, housing, overall confidence. I would say that still continues today. I like to think that we're starting to bottom out, but it is still a very, very tough challenge. People are more value-oriented than they ever have been before, so we need to work really hard to make sure that people believe that they are getting the most for every penny that they spend. That doesn't always mean it has to be the cheapest price, but it has to be the best price value.
And considering the fact that I think the stat is 98% of all American homes have ConAgra products in it, you're certainly leading the way for us. Gary, thanks again for taking the time to join us and to share your insights. You're one of our great industry leaders, and you're taking us right down the proper path. Thank you.
I appreciate your time. Thanks.
Be sure to visit supermarketnews.com for more on the 2012 GMA Executive Conference. And I hope you'll take the time to watch all of our Total Access industry leader video interviews. Thanks for joining us.
The 2012 GMA Executive Conference, Connecting Today to Grow Tomorrow, is sponsored by Musco Family Olive Company.